Yo, everybody. Let's see who's here. Let's see who shows up. Um, Doing a Saturday stream because I was just on pole position, but his parents came home, so this is like so teenage, right? He had to like end the stream. Oh well. I was gonna do some good rants, but I got kind of interrupted. That's the thing. You kind of need room to run, and a lot of people like me at any rate need room to run. Like if you're gonna do a rant or whatever, you're just gonna go without thinking about it a whole lot. Um, it's tough to time. It's tough. It's you can't. It can't be timed exactly. You can't be precision. The nature of the fucking what moves you. Anyway, so I'll do this. So all the pole position fans that were like on that stream, and I was beating up on them, and they deserve it. They completely deserve it. But they're in a bad spot right now, right? Where they are is exactly where they want to be, right? Like these are all the people that said, like, "Oh, democracy sucks, and we hate democracy. We want democracy to end." Well, looks like you got your wish, and they don't seem to be happy, which thrills me to no end because they're crying little fucking cunts. And where's my thing? I'm trying to make myself look fucking even, Steven. I was ranting about that guy, Godward, the guy that calls himself Godward 16 of Godward podcast. He had a bunch of different names. Anyway, he's like an English professor he's like a guy who's got a guaranteed job. He's a guaranteed paycheck, no matter what happens. And he's married with kids, but he's not interested in like what kind of countries my children are going to live in. How am I going to protect them? What are they going to, like, what does the future look like? His concern is like, oh, it's Moby Dick and this fucking shit and some other bullshit. And he's like, what is America's grand narrative? What stories will we tell ourselves as Americans? Because my dad, who grew up in the 50s, learned about the Pilgrims and something in the Revolution and this and that and the other. And this is a guy, and I'm like looking at him like, you're watching what's happening today. You're thinking the big problem in the future is white people don't have a story to tell themselves about who they are. And I'm thinking, if your biggest fucking problem is what story you're going to tell yourself about who you are, you don't have any real fucking problems. Know what I mean? Your problems are bullshit problems, are nothing problems. And this particular guy, he doesn't stream straightforwardly. He has to hide from his wife. His wife doesn't trust him. And none of the people who are fans of him are smart enough to figure this out because you're all dumbass fucking retards. But there's a reason why his wife doesn't trust him. You just don't know what it is. And she's not afraid he's talking to dorks on the fucking internet. That ain't it, you dumb cocksuckers. But you are, by nature, dumb cocksuckers. So I was telling a story about blah, 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 a couple of days ago. What's today? Saturday. So 2 days ago, 2 days ago? Yesterday? I don't fucking remember. Too many hours working. I delivered a human heart to be transplanted at this place in Virginia Beach. On the way back from Virginia Beach, I got a speeding ticket. 2 weeks from Christmas, a week after my birthday, 2 weeks from Christmas, 4 hours after I literally delivered a human heart for transplant. Some human being is going to get a new heart for Christmas. This is going to be like a fucking Hallmark fucking movie, or it's like a TV show, and they're not going to mention me. Sad. But and this fucking prick of a cop, because you have to go through on the highway back from Virginia Beach up to where I live. There's like 10 little small towns, like 10 towns along this highway, and it's of course where the cops hang out, and the speed limit drops from 55 down to 35, and they called it wrong. Went past this guy who fucking lights me up like a fucking it's World War III. And he was a bit nervous and whatever. I got worried like this fucking dick was going to be like stupid force wise, and I said, you know what? Give my documents. I give my driver's license on my job every day, 10 times a day. Didn't let me get 2 words out. Gives me the ticket. Slinks back to his car in the darkness in the middle of the night. Fucking piece of shit. Cops are not heroes. They are not fucking heroes. Anyway, so that was as I was telling that story and mentioning this other guy, this English teacher guy, this other guy. They're like, you're watching these screens, you're watching these videos, whatever you listen, what you're taking in, you're not processing correctly. You don't see reality. You don't know what it is. And you are not living life in a way where consequences come to you on a regular basis. For me, you know what? I should have seen the sign, blah, 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 whatever, 55 to 35. Should have slowed down. Yeah, I know. At the end of in the middle of a fucking, near the end of like a 15 or 16 hour driving. I should have seen that sign in the middle of fucking buttfuck nowhere, Delaware, and I should have seen the cop, and I should have. The reality is, when you're fucking the dude, like doing the fucking thing, like you just want to fucking get home. I looked at my GPS, it said 125 miles to home. Probably most of the people watching this have never been 125 miles from home, much less looked at figured it out like, oh, I'm 125 miles from home, but oh, thank God, it's only 2 more hours, right? And I'm there regularly, and I pass through all these little small towns. I'd like, this is the fucking chicken shit run, whatever. Which the smell of chicken shit was not so bad this time as it has been in the past. I don't know if the winter just knocks it down or whatever, but. So it's going to cost me $220 for the ticket plus whatever. I don't know if there's any pluses to that. But here's the thing: I have to do things. There's things I have to do to pay my fucking rent and to do what I have to do. And then if I fuck them up slightly, like I fucked it up slightly here, and it's a small fuck up. This is an empty fucking road in the middle of fucking nowhere. Midnight on a fucking Thursday, 2 weeks before Christmas. There's nobody fucking there. You know what I mean? And this cop jumps on me like I'm fucking John Dillinger. Now, if I was not a white guy, one lone 55-year-old white guy, if it was 3 black dudes in the car smoking fucking weed, right, and blasting rap music, when this guy pulled them over, what do you think he would have fucking done? You think he would have ticketed them? You think he would have ticketed 3 fucking black dudes smoking weed? You think he would have done that? That would have been a career ender, or his life. He would have fucking got shot, right? But he pulls me. By the time the 2 cars pull over and all the wheels stop rolling, their computers run you already. They know everything there is to know about you. So he knows I'm 55. He knows it's fucking just past my birthday. He knows all this shit. Right? He doesn't know I just delivered a human heart, whatever. But he doesn't even ask. Like, why are you 2 states away from where you live? in the middle of the night, speeding up the fucking highway. Like he doesn't, right? Because he's a cunt. He does whatever the state tells him. The police, they stand there and say, "I swear to defend and protect the United States Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic." Bullshit. They swear to defend their paycheck and their pension against every fucking threat, and that's the reality. Oh, this is real cops that do real work. Yeah, I subscribe to the fucking video YouTube channels that show that stuff. But you know, you have to. Of all the things that happened in 2020, like, is that the worst thing? My big fear was in the last 2 months that I would hit a deer, because having gotten conned out of my Bitcoin in October 12th, I poured like almost all my, like everything. Not only did I pour what was left of my fucking life savings into Bitcoin, I borrowed money from my bank to buy Bitcoin. So, well, how did that work out? At the time that I borrowed money to buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin was at like 13,700-ish, $13,700 per Bitcoin. As of today, which is December 13th, 12th or 13th, 12th, I think. Sunday the 12th. Bitcoin is at 1880. So seems like my gamble is sort of paying off. 2021 gonna be lit, yo. President Biden's gonna be awesome when he when he steps aside and lets Kamala Harris be President Harris happen. Oh my God. If you are in Iran, anywhere in the Middle East, run for your life. Get the fuck out of there, because you're all going to get splattered. You're all going to get splattered. A lot of people, like that guy, the college professor I'm talking about earlier, this guy Godward, he has 10 different names. I don't like people with 10 different names. People like this have been astoundingly wrong about what they thought was going to happen and when they thought it was going to happen. The timeline was wrong, and what they thought was going to happen. America would be overwhelmed by non-white immigration, and that would fuck white America. Well, white America is going to be fucked by white Americans. That is to say, the small hats who control the white politicians on both sides will tell you what to do, and you will obey them. For all the stuff you've seen videos of Antifa getting their ass kicked in Washington, D.C. or whatever, here or there, listen to me. White people have too much to lose. For black people, not so much for Spanish, but for black people, and I understand black people, I'm not one of them, but spiritually I'm one of them, because I drive around with a bottle of hot sauce in my car, a big bottle of hot sauce. I really do. Not joking. But anyway, so but I'm around what they call a BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, whatever. I'm around way more fucking diversity on a regular on a day-to-day basis than most people who talk about these things. So here's the reality. So was the point I wanted to make. You don't understand, like most people don't understand how it works, like and what the dynamic is. White people are going to obey the law, even though the law is funded by them, but actually against them, even though it's written differently. Some of the shit that's going on right now is going to wake people up like, holy fuck, Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court justices. It's blah, blah, blah. What do you mean the game is rigged against us? Yeah, the game, you have no fucking idea how much the game is rigged against you. You don't have any idea, and has been for decades. Has been for decades, since even before it was born. When this hits you, it's like really hard. It makes you angry, it makes you depressed. And the insane thing, it takes a long time to get to. And it's not a straight line. You go back and forth around a lot of things. Here's the fucking thing. When the white people are gone, everything dies. True for Detroit, Baltimore, everywhere else. There are, and I say this as a guy who, again, who deals with diversity people on everything. There are reasonable diversity people. There are sane people who see things correctly, but they're in a minority and they have no power. I got one viewer now. I'm on for 16 minutes. Got one viewer. I don't know if that's Paul or not. Jonathan Paul, if that's you, welcome to the show. I can't see what's going on, but the comments comes out doing this on my phone. Guys like Godward Podcast, Bernard Brightson, France, all these people for whom action and consequence are completely divorced. They're divorced. And they think they understand the world. They have no fucking idea what the world is or how it's going to work. And that's why I want nothing to do with them. And really, my contempt for them, I literally cannot express. Literally cannot express my contempt for them. They should be more aware and more sensitive with it. That's the way it is. You exist. We don't get to pick the time and place in history where we exist. We exist where we exist, and you do the best you can do. All this iffy, maybe sort of kind of gray sort of thing is unsatisfying because people crave certainty. They absolutely crave certainty. Certainly this, certainly that. Except we don't know how it's all going to fall out. And uncertainty is the real fucking the reality we all have to live in. And then you have to. So what does that mean? So now we have to advance by faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. That's the biblical quote. And that's true. You step forward, believing there's solid ground underneath you. That's going to move you forward. And that's the only way to do things. Even the evil cunts who fucking destroy shit think the same exact thing. They have to operate the same way. However, I want to post this. I'll post a video on my BitChute. This great piece of video from early 90s of Tupac Shakur. Yeah, like you're watching Tupac videos, James? Really? Serious? Tupac? It's like a 38-second video. 38-second video. It's Tupac before he had his hair done, he had the Thug Life tattoos. And he's just some gay black kid talking to a camera, and he says, black people are afraid of the same things that white people are afraid of. Crime and murderers. He said, you think because like there's a murderer, he says, you think because we live next to a murderer, there's 80, he says he drops an N-bomb. They bleep it out. I'll put the link in the video, somewhere in the show description eventually. He says, you think because there's 80 Negroes live next to this guy that we're all cool with that? He said, that's not true. He said, we're just as afraid of that murderer as you are. Now, he was very clean cut back then. No tats, no face tats, and that shit. But like I said, Tupac Shakur was the nephew of, I think, Joan Chesimard from the Black Liberation Army of the 60s, who her and two other guys, two black males, held up a armored car and killed the armored car guard in the course of this robbery. And she fled to Cuba, and she still, I think, lives in Cuba. So, and she called herself Assata Shakur. And the armored car robbery was in New York. It was direct flights from New York to Cuba, I think. I don't know, whatever it was. Anyway, she still lives down. She was hailed as a revolutionary hero back in the day, but the reality is she's just a fucking black chick who's involved in a bank robbery. Her nephew was groomed or raped, decided not to be whatever the fuck his birth name was, and called himself something Shakur, which is like a ripoff of a ripoff of a ripoff, right? But to his credit, Tupac, whoever that guy, whatever his actual name was, when he got in front of a camera at one point and he had an audience, talked about real concerns of fucking civil concerns for Black America, and explained there was a little bit of a gap. It would have been, if you listen to it, and I'll post after this video, I'll post the link. It's not down there right now, but I'll post it soon. Would have been an interesting point of conversation to start with. But too honest, right? In the end, he ended up with the thug life, blah 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 blah, and he bought into that. He bought into that bullshit story. And he was walking, I think he was walking along 42nd Street, and he got in some sort of verbal dispute while wearing a lot of like expensive jewelry on the Deuce, 42nd Street, the Deuce, and with some real street Negroes. And he probably did one of those fucking head forward, like, like chin forward, arms back. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? They ended up shooting him. I think they shot one of his testicles off. Tupac became one pack on 42nd Street. Welcome to the Deuce, kid. But before he kind of sold out for money and fame, I guess my opinion of him has gone up in that he took an opportunity to try and express the concerns of people that he, from his socioeconomic level. So good for him. Good on him for that. He probably did 1,000 rotten things before and after, but good on him for that. What does the future look like? Donald Trump's going to start his own cable network or whatever. I don't think so. The Senate is going to confirm Trump, and it's going to be, sounds like a cope. It sounds like we're going to live under a Biden-Harris administration at least until 2024, when the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, runs. Will he win? I don't know. Are Hispanics strong enough? Can they get a good fucking narrative together? Because the Jews have already it's a sub way deep in the fucking news feed. Florida has had more deaths than blah 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 blah. It's like the DeSantis genocide narrative. They're already starting against us. So if you're really honestly try to view this above the partisan level, to stand above the individual voter level, above the fucking, and look down at this, the way they look at this, the way the pros look at this. It's tough. It's not easy because you have to abandon your partisan beliefs, your left wing, your white, your fuck, your left wing or your right wing. You have to abandon them. Look at this, the way a pro looks at it, the way a cold-hearted, calculating person looks at it. Is this message going to be received this way by the suckers? Is this message going to be received this way by the suckers? How can we get right in the fucking middle so we get all the suckers to vote for us? And then no matter what they vote for, they get something else. Right? That's a more complicated game than most people are capable of playing. They're like, I'm on team Republican. I'm on team blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's bullshit. You imagine because someone else gains that you lose, and that's not true. Everybody, the way this really goes, when you get up high enough, everybody fucking loses. Everybody loses. And you're not prepared for that. It's tough to prepare for that. Oh, but something. Listen. You need to be prepared for everyone except the elites, and you are not elite. Losing. What does that look like to you? If you say, well, it's beyond my lifetime, it's my kids, my grandkids, I don't care. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. But if you have children or grandchildren, you think, fuck, the next 50 or 100 years are going to be really rough. How do I prep for this? What do I do? I'm at the mercy of forces beyond my comprehension and beyond my ability to influence. Yeah, you're in a tough fucking spot, a tougher spot than you think. And then when you realize that, there's nothing you can fucking do. There's not much you can do. Ouch. Fucking ouch. It hurts what you believe, what you feel, what you think. Your hopes, your fucking dreams. All the shit's affected. We're all like this, including the people that what you perceive to be the top. Anyway, how long am I go? I'm going an extra 30 minutes. Can't remember. I was on pole position for 30 minutes-ish. At least. I was going good too. I had like a good head of steam. Fuck it. It sucks, particularly I'm like all alcohol fueled. And I'm like, oh, I got my rant in my head. And then you get your fucking rhythm interrupted. Sucks. largely abandon big ideas, abandon anyone who does not directly benefit you. So people are going to hold out to you this thing or that thing, some perceived good. If it's not an actual good, a real world good, ignore it. To say, oh, I'm going to do some vague, I'm going to go to the state capitol and I'm going to go to the city center and I'm going to do this vague thing and this vague thing. Ignore them. You can vote for them or not vote for them, whether you want to be civic or you don't want to be civic. But you have to know they're full of shit. And you have to think to yourself, is it possible this shit goes really fucking sideways? Can I pick up and run? That's going to determine what your world is. Elderly parents, young children, mortgages, 1,000 fucking things. Can you be radical? Can you afford that? I can. I can. A lot of people can't. They grew up in an area. Their mom and dad lived there. Their grandparents lived there. Their children are accustomed to thinking we're from here. You can't pick up and fucking run. You can't sell your fucking house or your property in an hour or in a day. Where are you going to go? To go from this culture to that fucking culture? Is that even possible? For you? For your wife? For your children? Etc.? You really think you can do that? Really? Think again. You have less freedom than you think. And until you're really, really, really fucking forced, you're not going to make a choice. Nobody's going to make a choice. They're not going to do it. Do it. So, oh, you want to be radicals? I literally cannot stand it. And I will shit on you in every way I possibly can, in every opportunity I can. But I don't care that much because mostly I got shit to do myself. I gotta sort things out for myself. Surprisingly, human beings are solipsistic, right? The word solipsism means solo, right? Individual. You think about yourself first and everyone else afterwards, as like a reflection of you. So this is the way everyone is these days. You don't think of yourself as a part of a family, a community, etc. What's best for me? What's that look like? How do you know? Tough questions, and you don't have a guide for the answers. Anyway, I'm probably going to stream again. What's tonight? Saturday night. So, well, let's see what the works look like tomorrow. I don't know. Sunday or Monday. We'll see. But putting all your eggs in someone else's basket, this guy's going to save me in the bed. Whether you think this guy is Golden Boy, or you think this guy is Mr. Kamala Harris. Either way, you're probably wrong. You should drop the ideology and try to be reality based. Tough, tough, because it's against your nature. It's against human nature. Anyway, thanks for chilling with me, bros and sisters, girls, ladies and gentlemen, and I will talk to you again fairly shortly. Good night, everybody.